Welcome to the third episode of the SCC Online Weekly Rewind, where we curate the most interesting and important stories of the week gone by so that you can keep abreast of the latest developments in the field of law. Hi, I'm Nilufar Bhateja, and on behalf of SCC Online, I would like to wish all our viewers a very happy Holi. In this week's episode, I have brought to you some important updates from the Supreme Court, the High Courts, and some statutory updates. Now let us begin with some news of the Supreme Court. Chief Justice S.A. Bobde, who's all set to retire on April 23, 2021, has recommended the name of Justice N.V. Ramanna to be his successor. Born in an agricultural family, Justice Ramanna will be the 48th Chief Justice of India. In a related development, the Supreme Court has dismissed the complaint of Andhra Pradesh's Chief Minister Jagan Mohan Reddy, who accused Justice N.V. Ramanna of trying to destabilize and topple the YSR government in the state. The complaint was dealt with in an in-house procedure and no other details were made public. In a major win for women officers in the Indian Army, the Supreme Court has held that the administrative requirement imposed by the Indian Army authorities considering the case of women SSC officers for the grant of public commission of benchmarking these officers with the officers lowest in merit in the corresponding male batch was arbitrary and irrational. The court said that it is not enough to proudly state that women officers are allowed to serve the nation in the armed forces when the true picture tells a different story. Squashing the criminal case registered against Shillong Times editor Patricia Mukhim under sections 153A, section 500 and section 5051C of the Indian Penal Code for a Facebook post after 25 men assaulted young non-tribals playing basketball, the Supreme Court has held that the disapprobation of government inaction cannot be branded as an attempt to promote hatred between two communities, and that free speech of the citizens of this country cannot be stifled by implicating them in criminal cases. In an important verdict concerning the small-scale industries, particularly the MSMEs, the Supreme Court has held that no compound interest will be charged from those who availed the RBI's loan moratorium scheme between March 1st to 31st August 2020. The court said that there was no justification shown by the government to restrict the relief up to Rs 2 crores only, and that to restrict it to only 8 categories. The court, however, refused to extend the moratorium period and also refused total waiver of interest. In a long-awaited verdict in the Tata Mistry case, the Supreme Court has upheld the withdrawal of Cyrus Mistry as chairperson and has also answered all questions in favor of the Tata Group. The court said that the NCLAT has, by reinstating Mistry without any pleading or prayer, has forced upon the appellant an executive chairperson who is now unable to support his own reinstatement. The Madras High Court has dismissed the challenge to Section 60C of the Representation of People Act 1951 put up by DMK, the leading opposition party in Tamil Nadu, which is going into elections next month. Section 60C permits any person to be chosen by the Election Commission from a class of persons indicated in the rules, who will be conferred with the privilege of voting by a postal ballot as long as the choice is preceded by a consultation with the central government and followed by a notification in this regard being published. In a case of Punjab and Haryana High Court, it was held that contractual live-in relationships have no recognition in law. In this case, the petitioner sought direction for protection of life and liberty. Notably, the girl in this case was 18 years old, whereas the boy was 19 years old. Therefore, he was not of marriageable age. The court held that the deed of live-in relationship was not enforceable in law and no benefit could be claimed by the petitioners. The Madras High Court, noting the rise in the number of COVID cases, requested all political parties and candidates who hold meetings and go for campaigning all over the state to ensure that at every gathering masks are worn by all and social distancing norms are followed without exception. The last update is also from the Madras High Court, where the court, while addressing a concern with respect to life and liberty of a same-sex couple, observed that it is a sample case of how the society even now is grappling to come to terms with same-sex orientation. The court ordered in-chamber hearing in this case. Passed the Mines and Minerals Development and Regulation Act of 2021 on 22nd March. The bill was introduced in Lok Sabha on 15th March and passed by Lok Sabha on 19th March. The bill amends the Mines and Minerals Development and Regulation Act of 1957, which regulates the mining sector in India. The key features of this act include non-exclusive reconnaissance permit, removal of restrictions on end use of minerals, captive mines, auction by the central government, and transfer of statutory clearances. The Insurance Amendment Act has been approved by the President, leading to a hike in the FDI limit up to 74%. This act removes restrictions on ownership and control. However, such investment may be subject to additional conditions as prescribed by the central government. The Parliament has passed the National Capital Territory of Delhi Laws Special Provisions Second Amendment Bill of 2021. The bill was passed by Lok Sabha on March 11th and by Rajya Sabha earlier this month. The bill aims to amend the National Capital Territory of Delhi Laws Special Provisions Second Act of 2011. The 2011 Act was valid till 31st December last year, and the bill seeks to extend this deadline till the end of December 2023. The bill also seeks to extend the time period available with the government for regularization of unauthorized colonies which existed as on June 1st, 2014, having 50% development as on January 1st, 2015. The Parliament has passed the Government of National Capital Territory of Delhi Amendment Bill of 2021. The bill was passed by Lok Sabha on March 15th and was passed by Rajya Sabha on March 22nd. The bill seeks to amend the Government of National Capital Territory of Delhi Act of 1991, which provides framework for the functioning of the Legislative Assembly and the Delhi government. The bill provides the term government referred to in any law made by the Legislative Assembly will imply Lieutenant Governor. The powers of the LG has been enhanced under the bill. On March 25, 2021, the Medical Termination of Pregnancy Amendment Act of 2021 received the President's assent, which will modify the Medical Termination of Pregnancy Act of 1971. The gestation period has been increased from the existing 20 weeks to 24 weeks for special categories of women, which include rape victims and other vulnerable women. Opinion of one registered medical practitioner would be required for termination of pregnancy of up to 20 weeks, whereas in case of 24 weeks, the opinion of 2 medical practitioners would be taken into consideration. The gestation period of 24 weeks for termination of pregnancy shall not apply in cases of substantial fetal abnormalities diagnosed by a medical board.